Hey, come on. Welcome to Sister Girl Second Act, where we keep things soulful, simple, and intuitive. It was way too hot to be in the kitchen today, so I'm going to show you how I pulled together an easy, flavorful dinner without breaking a sweat. Now, I want to say that my plans were to make this delicious taco, but by the time I finished putting all the ingredients in it, which were ground beef, ground pork, some croutons, romaine lettuce, cheese, the dressing. It turned into a full-blown burrito. However, it was still delicious. But you know what? That's what I like about intuitive cooking. You make it your own and you just keep on rolling. You know what I mean? So I finished that up with a rustic brownie pie and I used a box mix. However, I added a little sister girl magic to that, if you know what I mean. So you know the drill. Go get a drink of water, go get a snack, come on back, and let's get started. So I'm starting off with my instant brownie mix, but I'm going to be doctoring it up a little bit, meaning instead of water, I'm going to be using milk. So, and I'm using almond milk on top of that because it calls for 2 tablespoons of water. So I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of almond milk. Okay. Then it asks for 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. I'm going to be using 1/2 cup of grapeseed oil. Next, it asks for 2 eggs. So I've got like 1, 2, and now instead of just using 2 eggs, I'm going to use just the yolk of the 3rd egg, of the yolk right here. So it's 3 eggs, but you're only going to use 2 whole eggs and the yolk of the 3rd egg. Also, I'm going to be putting in just a little bit of pure vanilla extract. So I'm just going to put in a little dip. And I've got pecan halves or pieces. Put some of that in there. Now I'm going to mix all of this together. And I do a lot of cooking, but not everything has to be made homemade. You know what I mean? Today, it's almost like 100 degrees outside. And what I'm not going to be doing is spending the whole day cooking in a hot kitchen. So I want to eat. I want to make good stuff. But when it comes to the temperature and me competing with the heat, oh no, that doesn't mix very well with me. So we just stir this up, just like this. And you want to make sure that it's completely mixed well. See that? So I'm going to get the sides off of the bowl. Now, on any other given day, I probably would have made this from scratch. But as I said, it's just too hot outside today. That's not going to happen. Now, once I finish mixing this up, I'm going to put it in a graham cracker crust. And then I'm going to put it in the oven, and it shouldn't take that long. Okay, it looks like it's thoroughly mixed. And I'm telling you, if you take the little pieces that I just showed you as far as, substituting the water and you're using milk instead. I used almond milk. Grapeseed oil is excellent for using instead of regular oil, or you could even use butter. And then, of course, I add a little bit of vanilla extract. You don't have to, but you can. And then I put some pecans in there. So you're going to make it your own. Whatever you want to put in there, that's fine. But it ups the level of a baking mix. So, let me move this out the way. Here is my graham cracker crust. I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my pie plate. This is so rich and gooey. Look at that. And this is taking all of what? 5-10 minutes to assemble? That's what I'm talking about. During the summer, I try to look for the quickest and the most convenient way for meal prep. And you want to get every bit of that batter out. Every bit of it out. See that? All right, now I'm going to put it into my oven, which is preheated at 350 degrees. And I'm going to put it in there. Oven is ready. Put it in there. And we're going to let it cook. I'm going to leave it in the oven for I'm going to start off about 35 minutes or so. While I'm waiting for my pie to finish baking, I'm going to be preparing my mixes for my tacos that I'm going to be doing later on. But I'd like for them to marinate. So the first one I have here is some meatloaf mix. I generally use this to make meatballs, but I had some left over. So I'm going to season it here and let it marinate in the fridge for a little while. I'm going to start off with a little bit of cumin, and I'm eyeballing it, as you can too. A little bit of onion powder. Go ahead, put that in there. I've got a little bit of crushed red pepper, because I want a little bit of heat. Some adobo, all-purpose. And slap your mama. I love this stuff. I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. And that will definitely spice it up some too. I think that's about all that I'm going to put in there. So now I'm just going to mix it up. That way, when I'm ready, I can just take it out the refrigerator and put it on the stove. Now you can add as much or as little as you want. Like I said, this is your meal, okay? And as you can see, I'm still adding stuff or repeating the same ingredients that I had. But this is what you do. Once you develop your own style, your own taste, you'll get used to how much you're putting in stuff, you know? I guess I could put some Italian seasoning in there, but I got toppings I'm going to put on there too, so that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge. So I have some mushrooms here. And they've been hanging out in the refrigerator for a little while, so I think it's time to start using them up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these up. You can make these as big or as little as you want as far as like slicing it goes. I'm gonna have like 2 different types of tacos so far. If I find something else in the fridge that I need to use up, then I'm gonna add it in as a 3rd type of taco. But I think we're good. So you just chop all of these up, and I'm basically just going to, what I'm going to do is probably, I don't know if I want to saute them a little bit first. Because you know, mushrooms are kind of funny when it comes to cooking. Now I have my onion. I'm not going to use this whole thing. I'm only going to use, maybe this is good enough. Let me see. Take that out the way. And I have, what I want to do is thinly slice these, so I got to get another type of knife. All right, so if I can keep it all together, I'm going to try to slice these up the long way. So that they come out looking like this. But as I said, you choose how you want to cut this stuff up. You know, it's all about you. You make it your own. This is what I like to do, or how I like to cut my onions up for different dishes, depending on what I'm making. But I like it when it's thinner, and it also cooks quicker when they're thin slices. Just take them out like that. And when you're coming down to the end of that, just go ahead and split them in half. Just like this. I have a garlic bulb right here, a clove. Actually, I got 2 cloves. So I could probably go ahead and put this in there as well. And to get the outer skin part off, all you need to do is take your knife, hit it, and it pops right off. See? Just like that. Now you may need to cut the end off, which is this part right here. But that's the quickest way to get your skin off. And I'm going to go ahead and slice these up as well. So I got my garlic all set. So if you don't want meat, you can do something like this. I've smashed it. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the end off. And I'm going to slice it. Or you can put it into like little tiny bits, or if you want to mince it up, you can, but I'm leaving it like this. All right, so you can use any vegetable that you want. And I'm gonna let that sit. As I said, I'm still waiting on my pie. She's got about 10 more minutes to go. Here's another tidbit. Whenever you're storing your mushrooms, the ideal environment for them is to put it in a paper bag. However, I don't have any extra paper bags around today, and I'm going to be using more of these up. So in the meantime, I'm just wrapping it in a paper towel, and I'll put it in the crisper portion of my refrigerator, and that should keep them from turning brown. But definitely put them in a paper bag, maybe something like one of those gift bags or something. You can use that for. As far as storing the onion, I always wrap it in a paper towel as well. And then I put it inside of a plastic bag because I don't want the odor to permeate the rest of my refrigerator. So you don't want onion smelling, your whole refrigerator smelling like onion. So again, I'm gonna go ahead, wrap up this, and I'm gonna put it in a Ziploc bag. Just like that. Okay. Now that I have all of them lined up, I'm going to start seasoning them a little bit. I've got a little bit of onion powder, also some red pepper flakes. I have a little bit more of adobo on here. I think I'm going to put some Italian seasoning on here. So my Italian seasoning, pour out a little bit, put that over it. And I have some lemon pepper. You know lemon pepper is my favorite, for those of you who watch me. And I'm going to let this hang out in the fridge as well until the pie is ready. And here she is out of the oven. And no, these cracks are normal. This is what happens during the cooking process, so it's absolutely normal. And I'm happy with the way that it came out. So don't let it alarm you when you get cracks, because that's normal. I'm going to let it sit and cool down, and I'm going to start the rest of the meal. Okay, so now we're ready to make our taco. And all I do is take And what I'm going to do is when I roll these up, I'm going to be cutting them in half instead of having two whole ones. And you want to make it as thin as possible. And just spreading. Now this is a combination of ground beef and ground pork, most commonly called meatloaf mix. So I'm just spreading it out. My burner, turn it on around. I'm going to take this and let it cook. And this is what it looks like when you turn it over. I'm going to take it out the pan. And I'm going to let it sit for a minute, and then I'll put my fillings. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and do another one. But this time, I'm going to be using my mushrooms. So let me move this other plate out of the way. Take this and do the same thing. You can add some green peppers, red peppers, whatever else that you like. And we're going to take and do the same thing. These don't have to cook as long because I basically sauteed them, so I'll be taking them out in about a minute. Okay, let me go ahead and put the salad portion in there. I put a little bit of seasoning in here. I'm going to add a little bit of dressing. I think I might even want to put some cheese in there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some cheese on here as well. A couple of croutons. They keep rolling off the top. And there you have it. So all you do is roll it up. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut it in half and go ahead and plate these. And here's the mushroom one that I'm about to roll up. way. Cut them in half. And there they are. Now, of course, the ones with the meat in it are a little bit bulkier, while these have the mushrooms and the onions in it. And here we have it. I used confectionery sugar and cocoa powder on the top of the pies. This is a side view because I've sliced it and it is so gooey, and I'm telling you, it is so delicious. The graham cracker crust, delicious. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for stopping by. And as you can see, what started off as a taco turned into a burrito, but that's okay. It still tasted delicious. That's what intuitive cooking is all about, and you should be able to pivot from one to the other without a problem. After all, taste matters, okay? It's just taste. As well as the pie, it was delicious, nice and fudgy, and oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to watch myself with that, okay? Until next time, oh, before I forget about it, please press the like and the subscribe button down below. And also, if you have any recipes that have turned out a different way, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. All right, until next time, take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Need a little soul talk while you stir the pot or take a break from the world? Come join me on my podcast. No reinvention needed, just a return. I'm talking real life reflection, second act wisdom, and soulful reminders that you don't have to start over. Just return to the you that's been there all along. Now streaming on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Search Sister Girl Second Act or click on the link.